Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. I'm currently painting up a Grinkrak model for my Night Goblin army for the Old World. There is a first video about how I've painted the black so far. It's under this daylight bulb, it looks very... it doesn't look very subtle, the highlights, but actually in normal light it looks fine. So I'm more pleased with it than I thought I was by the end of that video, having seen it in normal light. So daylight bulbs, yeah, just something about black. When you paint black, daylight bulbs make it look a lot worse than it actually is. So that's good. I'm pleased that it looks good. Okay, so for this episode, I'm painting Grinkrak's cowl, yeah, so that's his hood, and like the top, his kind of cowl that he wears underneath this armor. I'm going to be doing that in purple. So I'm using, I don't know what the current purples are in Games Workshop's range, but I'm using Lich Purple as the kind of colour that I'm going for. For the first layer, I'm going to mix some black in. This is going to be kind of like my mid layer. I've forgotten what kind of condition my purple is in. It looks pretty thick. I've had it for a long time, obviously. You can kind of tell. Since about, I would guess, around 2003. I don't know when this stuff came out. Yeah, maybe around then. Somewhere in the early 2000s. Early noughties. Right, let's mix some black in with this purple. There we go. I do love purple. So my my first army that I started with for Games Workshop was Dark Elves, purely because they came in a purple box. This was back when you got the eight Dark Elf Warriors, monopose, only one kind of option, Dark Elf Warriors in a box, but the box was purple, and that was the key thing. And so yeah, I became a Dark Elf player from then. Let's see, is this dark enough? Yes, it probably is. Okay, so this is the first layer that we're going with, anyway. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. Is it dark enough? Yeah, yes, it is. It is. I'm telling myself it is. It's also on top of black, which will make it darker anyway. And I'm not quite sure. I might go. I don't know if I'm going to go really light with it, or if I'm going to leave it kind of a rich, deep colour. I'm undecided. I've never really done a light purple before. So yeah, so I'm undecided. I do like a good Lich Purple. It's a very nice colour. I just realised camera's a bit out of focus. It's really hard. This is something that I'm kind of struggling with. I haven't worked out the best solution for yet, is to be able to paint in such a way that the model is easy enough for you to see what I'm doing, but also to be able to get a good view of it myself so I can see what I'm doing. Because it's no good if I can see what I'm doing but you can't see what I'm doing. Like, that completely defeats the point of having a video. But if I can't see what I'm doing, then I can't show you how to paint or show you how I'm painting. So yeah, it's a bit of a tension between the two. You being able to see and me being able to see. So there we go. But let me know. You'll have to let me know if I'm doing all right. If there's something you think I could change about how I'm doing it, and I will certainly see. All feedback is very, very welcome. This is like my 6th, 7th. This may actually be my 8th video. Is it really 8th video? It's 5, 6, 7. This will be my 8th video. So yeah, there we are. but still, I'm very much in the practicing phase, kind of. Yeah, I'm still got plenty to learn. Although, when is that not true? Are we not always learning stuff about everything? No one knows. No one knows everything about everything. So there's always something you can do better. And it's particularly helpful to collaborate with other people who know what they're doing. So yeah, there we go. So if anybody's got any top tips, any suggestions about how I can improve the way that I'm doing these videos, do let me know, because I am all ears. My talents currently lie in, well, I don't know. I was going to say lie in painting, but that's up to you to decide. And I feel like something I know that I am pretty good at is batch painting stuff to get a good looking army on the tabletop pretty quick. So the unit of Night Goblin archers probably only took me about 3 evenings, and it would have been a lot quicker if I wasn't recording videos. But yeah, I think 3 evenings is about how long it would take. A unit of 40 goblins, I think they look pretty good. So that's something that I am good at. That was all a long way of saying I think I'm pretty good at batch painting stuff to look good. The real question is, am I good at doing characters and stuff? I think so. You can decide after I'm done. But what I was really trying to say is that's where my strength lies at the moment. That's certainly why I'm doing these videos, is to kind of hopefully give some people who have less experience at painting than I do some kind of ideas of what they can do with their own miniatures. I don't profess to be an expert, but I'm certainly better than some people, and hopefully that's helpful. So there are things that I know that others can learn. Was that a really rambling way of saying I think I'm alright at painting? I think so. It's really hard. I find it really hard, I'm sure. It's a very British thing to not like to say that you're good at something. But there we are. Get a bit more paint, because that was running out. How much have we got left to do on this bit? We are most of the way done. That was a very creaky entrance. That was my cat. Just decided to come in the door. I think that might be a little bit light, you know. I have to add a bit more black to that. No idea what my cat is doing. Just run off and hid somewhere. He's getting old, and it worries me, because you never know what he'll do. Just shut the door. I ran out the door. Okay. Right, so we've just got this back bit of the cowl to do with this, and then we'll move on and do the first layer. I don't think this is going to take very long, actually, because yeah, I find purple very easy and quick to paint. Well, I'm saying that, I don't know, each individual area shouldn't be too much effort to paint. Sorry, I just realised it wasn't central on the camera. So yeah, I'm breaking this down into bits. I'm very conscious that the Fanatic video that I did took far longer than I thought it was going to take. Granted, I was painting 3 Fanatics rather than just 1. And I was trying to do the entire process in one video, so you could kind of see a whole process. But I probably should have just done 1. At some point, I think I will do a video speed painting a spearman, because I've done it before, and I've managed to do a spearman, a goblin spearman, in about 15 minutes. Now, it's a video, I'll be talking about stuff, so it'll probably take a bit longer than 15 minutes. But we'll see how quick we can do it. Okay, all right, that's all of that purple done. If anything else is going purple in this model, I'll do it another time separately. But for now, that is his cowl. Sorry, I was looking at it myself, not through this. Apologies if it didn't show very well. Right, I'm going to give it a couple of seconds to dry. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to pause the video while it dries. Bear with me. All right, so he's dry now. Now, one of the side effects of giving him a few moments to dry is the paint on my palette is almost dry as well. So I've just mixed up another batch. So this is again the black and the purple mixed together. So it's not pure lich purple. It's got some black mixed in as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some white to this black and purple mix to give me my next layer. Let's see how much I want to add. I think actually I want a bit more purple in there. It's nice though, I quite like that. Oh, do I? I don't know. I do quite like it. Let's see, what will it look like if we take that all the way through? That's where I'll go. It's quite nice. Maybe we'll add a little bit more purple. Right, there we go. Just trying to squeeze it out on my brush. That's what I'm doing when I'm rolling it over. I'm squeezing the paint out of the brush, but rolling it to kind of keep a bit of a tip on the end. So that's what I'm doing there anyway. Right, so this layer, I'm gonna redo most of it, but leave all the deep recesses. That's dark. That's quite light. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. That's what they say. I think that means I've started, so I'll finish, basically, in weird old English phrase speak. By old English, I don't mean old English language. Just it's old, an old phrase. The older a phrase is, the less likely you know what it really means. But I think that one's relatively self-explanatory. Okay, don't want to do too much in the real recesses because I want it to still be dark. I don't need to do too much in there. So for this layer, basically, I'm not, so previously I bridged that gap with the dark purple, but now I'm not, now I'm leaving it. So in there is the dark purple that we just used. But now, yeah, I'm leaving it as it is. So I'm basically just going around all the areas, but not touching, not like touching where it will meet another colour. So like this is going to be yellow. Oh, sorry, this shoulder pad is going to be yellow. So I'm not going right up to the shoulder pad. And I'm going to leave that hole there. So I'm not going in the hole. So yeah, so this layer is probably going to be the primary colour that you'll see. I'm just trying to avoid connecting it to any of the other areas that will have a different colour on, basically, to give it a little bit of separation. So it'll end up like a dark purple line round the whole thing, basically, around all of this purple area. Sorry, I keep drifting off of out of screen, out of shot. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful to newer folk or people who less experienced at painting. I actually didn't mean to go in that hole, but never mind, it's in now. I'll go over it. And let's do his hat. So for this bit, my intention, we'll see if I pull it off, is to not go into the gaps with this, and also not go too close to those stitches that are holding his hat together. I'll go in these creases because they're part of the same bit of fabric. For this there anyway. So the dark really is acting as a border between anything else that it touches and just in the super deep recesses. Other than that, everything else is getting painted. So that's kind of the stage that we're doing now. So I'll endeavour to leave a little bit of a border around these mushrooms as a bit of a, yeah, kind of an outline. But we will go inside these creases, like I say, because they're the same bit of fabric. Now, where are we at? Here we go. Make sure I'm on screen. Trying to think of something interesting to say right now, but failing miserably. It's hard trying to focus, concentrate on doing the painting, making sure I'm in line with this, with the camera so you can see what I'm doing, plus trying to think of something useful to say other than what I'm doing. But I think for the most part, telling you what I'm doing and keeping it in shot is probably the key things. And if I've got anything interesting to say, then that's a bonus. Kind of. I mean, I guess I'll let you tell me if random information is useful as well. But there we go. I did a long time ago when I was a kid. I painted this guy. I think he's Nazgob. I feel like he was from either a 5th edition campaign or he was from Warhammer Quest. And I can't quite remember which one it's from. Maybe Warhammer Quest. Yeah, I don't think the Idol of Gork had any miniatures made for it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone watching this will know. But yeah, so anyway, a long time ago I painted him, and maybe he'll make an appearance one day. Yeah, if I recall, I'm pretty sure I painted him purple as well. So he will have been done in a paint job of my previous era, my pre kind of Games Workshop era. For sure it was pre Games Workshop. Interestingly, my pre-Games Workshop era wasn't the longest amount of time. I'm trying to think when did I start playing Warhammer? Maybe 96, 97, something like that. So I would have been, I don't know, like 13. And I joined Games Workshop when I was 18. So it's not, I guess it's 5 years, but it's yeah, not a huge, compared to how long I've been painting since then. When did I leave Games Workshop? 2008. And what is it now? 2024? I don't know. How many years is that? 16? Is that 16 years? I think so. So yeah, 16 years ago since I was at Games Workshop. And yeah, it doesn't feel like that long. And it does feel like long all at the same time. It's weird how time works, isn't it? Okay, so that's done for the most part. I need to do his shoulder. It's see. I only want it on the tip because in order to get in there, it's like going into the valley between his ear and his shoulder pad. I still got it in his shoulder pad. It's not the worst, but it's better if I didn't. Yeah, there we go. It's better to not get on the places, I think. However, they are all going to be painted, but I prefer not to, I don't know, have to redo any of the purple bits. Okay, cool. So that's that layer of purple done. Now that that's done, the rest is going to be super quick, because it's just going to be like highlighting around. So now we will add some more white. I'm tempted to add a little bit more purple to the mix. Let's add a teensy bit more purple. That's not really a tinsy bit, but there we go. It's some more purple. Right, so add some purple and some white. Okay, so this is our next layer. Probably a little bit thicker than I'd like it to be, but I don't know, I want it to dry quickly because I don't really want to be waiting ages to show you each layer. So, okay, where am I in the frame? So yeah, so now I'm moving towards the raised areas. So this is the focus for this layer. So the first layer was everything. The second layer was everything except that anywhere where it borders something else and the dips. This one is now the raised areas. So around here and down here and here, around the edge of that hole, and here, down around the edge of here, here, and here. So I'm leaving the dip between this side and this side. Okay, so that's that done. See, told you it was quick. We'll do around the rim of his hat. And we'll do around this hole. Just checking to see if I'm in shot again. We'll go around the rim of his hat down here. We'll do the edges of this. And that raised bit there. I'm going to do this as kind of a bit of a raised area in here. And then the hat, most of this, I don't know, I feel like I'll just do a large portion of this area. It's all kind of raised. Nice to get right in there, but I don't know how well I'm going to do that. Okay, this is kind of a lump on the top. I'll do that too. It's a little bit thicker than I'd like it, but like I say, I'm trying to do it so that it dries in time for me to do the next layer. Without having to pause it, it was annoying pausing, but it's a little bit thick. No, I can't do it. I'm going to have to mix some water in a bit, make it a bit thinner. What I don't want is it to start getting streaky, and I don't want to create any texture with the paint. I just want it to be the texture that the model is, and that's the problem with having it too thick, is you start getting texture coming through from the paint, unnatural texture that's not part of the model, and that's what I'm trying to avoid basically by thinning it down. Okay, so what have I got to do down here? So I'm not going in those creases this time, and then I really need to clean my paintbrush off and only have it on the tips ideally, because otherwise I'm going to make a mess. But again, I'm trying to do it quickly really. So I'm trying to bring out the raised areas on these creases and leave the crease. Let's just get it on the tip so we can. So yeah, I've got it nice and thin. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my brush? Yeah. Just paint on the tip. So the intention is to be able to reach in here and then pull it across without touching the stuff either side. So just about manage that, and we'll do a bit on his shoulder in here as well. And then lastly around his hood here. Okay, so that's that layer done. So that's now everything but this is all the high areas and none of the creases, basically. So we're gonna kind of repeat that step, but move in a bit to more higher ground now. So every time you kind of move to the higher ground, it gets quicker because there's less to paint. So now we're going right around the very edges of his hat. Like that. I'm trying to keep it in frame while painting. I will get better at it, maybe. Okay, I'll endeavour to get better at it. Whether I actually will or not is something else. But I'll try. So you see, that's looking pretty good. Okay. Probably got a bit too much on my brush, really. But there we are. How to see what I'm doing while showing you guys what I'm doing. Okay, it's looking good. Alright, let's do this holy bit on his head. Okay. Do the edges of these creases. What I want to do is hat in there, but I don't know if I'll reach it. Yeah, kind of, there we go. Can you see this? It's hard. No, this is particularly hard for me to see at the same time as trying to show it on camera. So apologies if it's difficult to see. It's difficult to see for me too. Okay, what's that? Concentrating too hard to talk. Can't talk. Concentrating. That's how I feel anyway. Probably have gone too light for this bit. Should have done another layer in there. Never mind. I've done it now. Yeah, he's got stitches all around there, but I should have done layers up to there. Alright, what can I see? I'm just trying to take stock and see what I can see. Now it looks alright. I think there's a couple of factors at play here. One, we've got a daylight bulb and that skews everything. And two, I'm trying to look at it and show you what I'm doing. So I feel like that definitely makes it a bit trickier. But I think we're more or less there. Do I do another layer? Yeah, right, let's do one last layer. Could be the layer that breaks it, but there we go. Oh, that's way too much water. Right, let's try and just do this in a few areas and not too many areas. Struggling to see now. There. I don't know if that's actually made much difference. I don't think I mixed enough white in. No. Right, where's my white gone? Okay, so I'm just doing on the very edges here, and like the tips of things to accentuate them. As long as I'm staying in frame, of course, you'll be able to see that. Oops. Smooth that. Sorry, moving off a frame again. Okay. That's probably gonna do it, I think. Too much more and I'll overdo it. I'm still carrying on, aren't I? Can't help it. Okay, yeah, he's basically there now for the purple, I think. There we go. That looks alright. Okay, cool. There we are. That'll do for this video. Alright, thanks for watching.